We are facing a big shift. Artificial intelligence is progressing rapidly. We know this. We probably also know that search behavior is changing. The way people are finding us, the way clients are finding photographers is just different than it has ever been before. There's more options, there's different options, and things are changing. And I know you're feeling it. Marketing has become more challenging and less predictable. Many have seen a decline in their social media reach and, unfortunately, their sales. So I want to ask you one important question. Is your business adapting or is it falling behind? Hello, Lens Legends, and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. My name is Jim Landers, your guide on the business side, and it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, and I'll put them up on the screen. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her amazing, wonderful team are going to make you look like a hero. And they just do it by default because Amanda hires fantastic people. Now, if you have printed, go to digitalprolab.com. If you've never printed your work before, you're going to find a whole new level of love for your work. I encourage you to go to digitalprolab.com. Let me put that up on the screen just in case you're not familiar with it. Digitalprolab.com. Man, they are fantastic. Amanda and her wonderful team are going to treat you like a king or queen, and you are going to look like a hero to your clients. And of course, this show is sponsored by Landers Photography School. That's my company. I teach both the photography side and the business side. I've written well over 250 classes over the years, but I have been teaching for a number of years. I recommend that you reach out to me and take advantage of something that I am offering to you for free. And of course, the link is gone. All right. Well, reach out to me at jim@portraitprofits.com. And what I'm going to do is set you up with a free private session with me to talk about your goals. That's jim@portraitprofits.com. jim@portraitprofits.com. I want to encourage you to make comments and ask questions throughout this time today. I want you to comment #live. Go to the comment section and enter in #live. That tells me that you're watching us live today on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. And for those who are watching the replay, please comment #replay. Now, I want to request something of you. As you know, Amanda from Digital Pro Lab and I deliver the Portrait Profit Show to you every single Monday. And all we ask in exchange is for you to share the Portrait Profit Show with others. So click that share button, invite others to the show, and help us build a brighter future by uplifting all photographers. Artificial intelligence is advancing rapidly. Search behavior is changing. Marketing is changing. And whether you realize it or not, your clients are changing too. Photographers are asking important questions right now. Should I be using AI? How is search changing? Will SEO, search engine optimization, still matter? What should I be doing differently? What changes do I need to make sure my business model remains the best fit for the market I'm serving? Now, you may ask them in your own way, but you're asking these questions and so many more. So today, we're going to explore those questions with someone who spends his professional life helping businesses understand digital visibility, search strategy, and the impact emerging technology is having on how business connects with clients. I'm not the expert on this, so I have reached out to a digital strategist and SEO expert who also happens to be a friend to join us today. Yusuf Chowdhury helps businesses understand how technology, search behavior, and marketing continue to evolve so that they can remain visible, relevant, and profitable. I want to welcome Yusuf to the show with me. Bring him on. There we go. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show, Yusuf.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in as well. Happy to be here.
Nice. Well, I need to put up that logo. I forgot to do that.
It's all good. I heard you something about the link. So I was laughing at the back. Sorry.
Stuff happens. It's a live show. Yeah. I can't fix it.
That's the beauty, Hey, we can always give that excuse. Technology.
It's true. I choose to do live shows because I'm lazy. Would you believe that? Yeah, I'm too lazy to do the editing afterwards. Yeah. I want to be done when the show's done. I want to be done. I don't want to be spending hours doing editing afterwards.
Yeah. Well, we have something in common because this is what I also recommend. I mean, find odd ways how to be, a little bit lazy and still make good money.
Nice. Yeah, easier said than done, but yes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I should come with the book that says, actually, I don't know if you knew this, but I used to work at Rackspace several years ago.
Yeah.
I had this one picture. I fell asleep, actually, it was too much work. I fell asleep, and my coworkers took a picture of me. And there's a 3 screens monitors. So they took a picture of me, like I'm sleeping like this. Then the picture on the screens. Then again, that should be the cover of my book. How to make money.
Oh man. Well, that'll teach you.
I promise. I should come up with that book. Even the first one to find out.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right. So obviously we're going to be talking about AI, search, marketing. We're going to be talking about this stuff. But before, can you tell us a little bit about you, your background, your motivations? Just who is Yusuf?
Yes. Well, I mean, to talk about me, it might take like 2 hours to do that, but I'll do my best to finish it and keep it.
That's all?
That's it, to keep it very short. Okay. So like Jim introduced me, I'm a digital marketing strategist. I have my own digital marketing agency here in San Antonio. It's called the Online Business Owners. So if you search for it, make sure it doesn't say .com because that's somebody else. Back in 2010, I couldn't really, get that domain. So that's why I only have the .org. So onlinebusinessowners.org. So that's what I do. And I love to help small businesses, to basically understand, how digital marketing works, how they can be visible, how they can be trusted, and also how can they be profitable if they use online marketing ways. You know what I mean? I do focus mostly on not just SEO. SEO, I just fell in love with it because the reality of how most consumers like you and me, when we go on Google or Bing, we usually go to look for either a service or a product. So there's an intent factor, right? So that's what attracted me, because this way it'd be much easier to sell than you're trying to convince somebody, right? So I started with focus on the SEO, then later on with Google Ads, social media ad, then website and website conversion and so forth. I learned most of it. Then after that, I have my own teams and contractors and staff that do most of this work. Okay. And I work with all kinds of businesses. Initially, it was, small, one probably brick and mortar, but later on, now I'm able to help, the city or e-commerce website or even nonprofit. So that's in a nutshell. And I also do tons of workshop every month. I would say the last week of every month, I do like a workshop right here, 4 or 5 classes at no cost for any small businesses to come and attend and, learn the technique, basically.
Nice. That's awesome. Where will I find information about that? Is that also the same place that you just mentioned, or can I find that somewhere else?
I mean, if you Google the digital, excellent question. If you just Google digital marketer, I'll pop up. But you can definitely connect with me. You can go to meetup.com/SA online marketing, and that's how you can basically sign up for those workshops. Or just look up for my name and connect with me online, and I'll send you those information. Usually we do it here at Babcock and Eckert. That's one of the offices I'm located at. And sometimes we do it at Dominion. Sometimes we do it like at Broadway. So it depends, whatever the customer wants to, or the student or the attendee want to come and learn. And sometimes even with the SBDC and the lunch essay, and back in the day with Geekdom. So
Yeah. Well, nice. Lots of opportunities.
it
So
is.
why do you believe that this moment, these changes today are different from previous changes? Like, a photographer that has been in business for a little while, let's say 30 years.
Mhm.
And I say a little while, I'm saying that facetiously. That's quite a while. um, they started off with film,
Yeah.
switched to digital, somewhere in the middle added in internet, websites, search engine optimization, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that this moment is different from previous moments of technology improvements or progression?
Well, that's a very excellent question because right now, if you notice, like previously, a lot of changes that were taking place was kind of very slow. What I mean by that, the search engine, the Google's algorithm changes every few months or every few years. The social media, every new social media pops up. What wasn't popular before is popular right now. Do you remember the Snapchat days or the MySpace days, right? And the Facebook. I mean,
Yeah.
so and it was very slow and very gradual. But now because of the AI, a lot of these platforms, all of them are changing at the same time. Okay, that's on one hand. The other hand is, which is the most important part, that nobody talks about, the behavior of the consumers, like our behavior. How are we behaving? Like when I look for a chiropractor, do I still go to Google for that? Do I go to Facebook for that? Do I go to ask Perplexity or Gemini? What's happened to that behavior? Right. So really, I would say that even though these platforms are changing and advancing and they're integrating ad to every single thing, but we as a businesses, we have to ask ourselves, okay, how are the consumer changing? Are they completely changing or are they just going to different direction? Because right now, previously, as you mentioned, why SEO matters. In fact, even the Google ad matters too, because the intention of the searcher when they go to Google, they look for a local business or a service. Like, for example, photography near me, or wedding photographer near me, or who's the best, wedding photographer, let's say in San Antonio. That's used to be most of our behavior, right? But now
Yes.
you go to TikTok, they look at Instagram, they look at Pinterest, they go to Gemini. But here's another issue when people talk about, hey, Yusuf, I want to be in AI search. Can you help me with that? And I tell the small business, like, why? Why do you want to be there? Just because everyone's telling you to be there? You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't think like that. You should think about, does first of all, how does the AI search work? Right? Like, how does it work? What people usually do? Like right now, if you go right now and type best taco restaurant or taco restaurant near me, the AI search will not show up. What you will see is the Google business page. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. As a local business, oh, I can rely on the Google business page. Now, when does the AI search will show that result or your information? If the query on Google is a question based, so I'm going to say what is the best taco restaurant, let's say in San Antonio. Then it will show up on the AI search as an article, as a blog, and several few sites here and there. But even then, if I find the answer, guess what? 90%, I'm not going to even click on the website because I found the answer. So for a business owner, if you want to be on the search, on the AI search, will it make a difference? Because most of them are going to click on it. So what is the point? Makes sense? Except if you're running a content that showed up in the AI search, somehow the short answer says, click or call or book an appointment. Then when they click the website, it takes you website, and that's like more practical and reasonable. So this sort of information, again, a small business have no idea, and they need to be educated about it. Just because I
Mhm.
want to be in the AI, also, it doesn't always mean that it converts into money. Does that make sense?
It does. It
So yeah.
definitely does. So You know what? Before I ask, I've got a question in mind, but before I ask that, I want to tell you guys. By the way, Yusuf, I call my audience Lens Legends.
Mm.
So Lens Legends is for you guys. You can probably see in on your screen top right corner a QR code. That is a photographer's check. In fact,
It's a
let me
customized specifically for the photographers.
put that up
Right.
on the screen. It's 2 pages. It is the photography business reset checklist. So download that right now using that QR code. And by the way, if you for some reason can't use the QR code, then just send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, jim@portraitprofits.com. I, I obviously am not going to get to it during the show, during a live show, but I will afterwards. And I'll send that to you. Just ask for it, of course, in the email. But I want you to use that QR code if you can.
Yeah, don't be watching
That
the live stream from your phone.
that's right.
Scan that the QR code, okay? Remember that.
There you go.
I've seen some
So
billboard with the QR code. I don't know. I mean, I'm just
there is a way to do it from your phone. I guess do a
unless you're
screenshot and then zoom in on it, but that might be really tiny.
yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about that one,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm thinking send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com. So that's so every show there's a handout. I do a handout of what it is that I'm doing. Sometimes there's a worksheet, sometimes there's a template, but usually it's just a handout so that someone could follow along and they'd be watching the replay because I don't have it available ahead of time. But I do make that available to them. But just as usual, just send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com. All right. So here's that question I have for you, Yusuf.
Uh-huh.
If you owned a photography business right now, today, what tools, what developments, what things are going to get your attention? At least probably a bunch. So what things are going to get your attention first? What few things are going to get your attention first?
I mean, let's do this. I would say, let's say brand new, right? I'm gonna start a photography business. The first thing I have to understand, can I be visible online, right? If I'm going to be visible online, what should I focus on? If it's a website, then that means how I'm going to build or structure not necessarily the design point of view, but more of a functional point of view. You know what I mean? Like a visitor comes in, is there a clear call to action? Is there a headline that basically addresses the target audience that you want to target for? If I'm going to focus only, let's say, for example, school sport photography, right? Then that should be somewhere in the headline. And there should be a subheadline and a call to action for book an appointment, for example, or text message, or somehow an easy way for them to contact me, right? I don't want to focus on so many other photography niche. I got to start with something very small, okay? Because I got to test it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I have to make sure that the message is clear. My offer is very easy to understand. Maybe if I want to put some prices, it's easy for them. I don't know. Some photographers don't, put prices, but there's some few that they do, right? So if you're gonna go with that direction, then I'm gonna have to figure out how clear and easy for them to find on the site, right? And because I'm local, I also have to look into the local SEO, which is the Google business page. Now, somebody might ask, if I don't have an actual office, how would I go about that? So the different ways to basically the Google business page can help you, even if you don't want to share the physical address, right? But the downside is it's not going to show up in the map. That's the only difference. It's good for getting reviews, and that's about it, right? Then if I have 2-3 happy clients, do my best to get reviews from them so I can make sure that the Google business page got all the reviews. Because when the target audience comes to my site and they're searching for, let's say, schools or high school sport photographer near me, for example, right? And they land on my website, and my website built from the conversion point of view. Okay, the concept of conversion point of view. Don't focus too much on the design, just focus on the conversion point of view. They come, they read the headline, they read the offer, and it's so easy to contact me, right? But that doesn't mean they're going to hire me right away. So there has to be some sort of trust factor. So what is the trust factor? Usually, it could be a word, it could be reviews, it could be customers' testimony, and so forth. Does that make sense? And the way I'm going to write the content on the website, not about me as a great photographer, I would basically focus on the content that answers answer questions that my target audience are struggling with. So if there's certain question, the common question they ask, and I can be that solution type of provider person, I would write the content around that concept. Like, just kind of answering the question of the challenges that the client go through, right? Then I will make sure that for them, when they land on my website, I need to make sure that it is so easy for the target audience to either contact me, to book an appointment, basically find it easy for them to reach out to me,
Yeah.
right? Then I need to focus on, once the website is properly built on a conversion based strategy, and let's say the Google business page, maybe my Facebook and Instagram, only those two channels enough for now, right? Then I'm going to focus on how I'm going to analyze all the traffic that is coming in. Are the traffic coming organically? Is it coming through the ad that I started, right? Then I need to analyze it. How many months of traffic I'm getting, how many booking, how many that. Because without analyzing what's happening to the website, your ideas of marketing going to be based on guessing. And you don't want to do that, right? And the last but not least, the email list. So I know that's one of the things that I also regret, right? If you can offer something in return that this new visitor going to be in your list, whether it's a 30-minute session or some sort of offer or is some sort of, I don't want to go with the word discount, because discount can actually lower your value. Then I'll focus on just capturing enough emails so I can take them back to my social channels, or a monthly or weekly kind of content. Does that make sense? That's how I think about it as a fresh person.
Yes, that definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. You know what? You work with a lot of business owners.
Yes.
What are business owners feeling right now? Is it excitement? Is it uncertainty? What these technology changes? For me, they're exciting, but they're also intimidating. What have you found from the business owners you're working with?
Not really, because a lot of them that don't have any idea how AI works basically don't want to deal with it. The other half utilizing it internally, just like myself, to speed up the process of certain things in terms of administration, in terms of
Yeah.
follow up, or in terms of like I'll give an example right now. If I want to, let's say I have a client, I got all the information. It goes to my account manager. My account manager talks to the designer and the developer. And usually, traditionally, if they have any question, they'll come back to the account manager. Account manager talk to me, but sometimes the account manager talk to the client for last confirmation. Going back and forth, all this process might take like almost 2 weeks, right? Then after that, once everything is decided in terms of budget, in terms of timeline, when let's say the website going to be ready and all this stuff, now we're going to have to get the confirmation for a fourth week. All that process right now can be done in 3 days. How?
Okay.
Because now I'm engaging with the client. They have the ideas. While they sharing the ideas, I can put all that information. If I'm doing a webinar, I can use Otter or Crisp to basically record the whole conversation, and it will give me basically a summary of all the conversation and the important points. I'll send that to the account manager. Now the account manager will take it. The designer will look at it, and guess what? Instead of waiting for 2 weeks for design, we'll do it today. We'll use the AI to make a design. They will take the design, go to Photoshop, adjust it, and the third day, look, design is ready. Are you going to approve this, Mr. Client? Oh, yes, great. All right, perfect. Next week we'll start developing. So in terms of delivering things faster, and since the team are expert in their field, I don't have to wait 3 months to finish a web project, for example. Or I don't have to wait like 3 weeks to start a Google ad, for example. Now we can do all that within a week or less, because
Nice.
the AI tools, right? It's an assistant. Just like if you go back way before Adobe, I mean, the old school photographers, right? Before the software, how did they do their work, right? I mean, it's probably takes longer. And
Right.
when Adobe came in the scene, okay, now the photographers have what do you call it? They can take more project because the software can enhance certain things. Then you got the email, then you got the internet, then you got, and instead of sending everything in a zip drive and flop and all this stuff, remember those days? Now everything's through the internet, through the email. Forget the internet, now everything's through the WhatsApp. Forget the WhatsApp, now everything's through the Google Drive. You see what's happening? It's speeding up the process. So I have some clients don't want to touch it, and those who touch, I have to train them because some of them don't know how to use it. Have you seen any email from a secretary or a front desk? You get an email, respond to your inquiry or follow up, and at the bottom it says, "Would you like to change this email?" And it's like a ChatGPT. They were too lazy to copy and paste without even double checking, right? So that's how it becomes an additional income for me, because now I can train them in. This is how it's done properly. This is how you used to do it, and make sure don't put any kind of private information, but anything else. You're lucky right now. If you're let's say in paralegals, right? It used to take them a while to put up all the document and send it to the lawyer. And now the paralegal, they will spend probably 15 minutes versus 2-3 hours. So in that situation, yes, that's good. It helps the business to get more clients, at the same time still provide the quality because it is still checked by human oversight. The same designer, the same team, the same content writer, they're still working with it. Right? They're not changing it. It's just the difference is now they're just taking more customers. Makes sense? Because the AI, now we can work a little bit faster, because you still have to have your brand voice. You still have to make sure some adjustment, because these tools are not 100% accurate.
No.
They do hallucinate. They still hallucinate.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you keep using this tool for like 5 hours straight, it's like drunk. It becomes drunk. So that's how it's said.
Yes.
But some I mean, businesses still not into it, so that's why I don't see a big shift in a sense like everyone's going to use it. Eventually you will, because this big corporation, every tool's out there, every hosting company, even Adobe, everyone is integrating the AI into it. So you have no option. You have to learn it, right? Every business has to learn it. At least now there's a new kind of I was reading a couple of articles from Harvard saying that the new or the new emerging so-called job will be like, not necessarily prompt engineer, but more like I forgot the title, but somebody that checks with the AI, like that checks with the content output. You know what I mean? That could be a new kind of job. Who knows, right? Everything is unpredictable now. Does that answer your question?
It does. It does. Of course, it brings up more questions, because I'm thinking about how photographers are found, because that's something, of course, we're interested in. We want our business to be found. We want to be chosen. We want to be seen. And so when someone goes to some AI assistant, so ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or Gemini, whatever, and they ask it to recommend a photographer, what determines who gets the attention? With SEO, we had an idea of what to do. Sure, it changed every once in a while, but we had an idea of what we were supposed to do to get our name in the organic search a little bit higher, and we could hire people to help us out with that. But what's this equivalent for AI?
That's a very, very good question. And with all honesty, till now, we don't have a clear data why different AI like Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, or Claude, they don't show the same result. If you ask the same question, if you show up eventually, but they're not going to show the same result. We don't know exactly what's the reason behind it. There's no data to tell us what you need to do that, right? But what I know for a fact, on the other hand, that the AI itself still utilizes your traditional SEO in the first time. That means when you build a site, when you build your online visibility correctly, it will choose that. So if your information online everywhere consistent, same brand voice, same information, if I go to LinkedIn, it's the same. If I go to your website, it's the same, right? And it's doing pretty well organically, then AI will try to choose that. Make sense? Before the ChatGPT, I used to say, and I still say, unfortunately, recently Google came out and they said that they don't care about the frequently asked question anymore because the AI search is going to be replaced instead of the frequently asked question. So what I used to do in the past, I tell a lot of businesses, if you have a website, make sure you have a frequently asked question page. Okay, why is that? Because the Google Home and the Alexa, all these voice search services usually pick the content that is a question based. That's number
Yeah.
one, right? The last year, if you go like last year or the year before, ChatGPT and Gemini used to pick up similar content with, in addition, if you have the Google Business page plus other listing sites. What do I mean by that? Like Yelp, Super Pages, all the other so-called online directory. If you're visible there, it will start to pick it up, right? So I would say if you have your presence, if you have SEO done correctly, right? And if you try to add some type of within your blog, if you're going to add a frequently asked question based content, that can help, but there's no proof for it. Okay.
Okay.
So one of my student that comes to my workshop, Larry Inspect, he's a home inspection. We made some change on the website. We made some frequently asked question page and whatnot. And suddenly, if you type, uh, you know, how to look for a inspection for deck, for the home deck, and he show up on Gemini. He does show up right now on what do you call it, the AI search, and he has tons of content on his website because he's been writing content like for years. But as far as what are the ways, it doesn't exist. So even if you find this so-called hype tool out there, hey, sign up with us, $90, we'll make you sure you show up on ChatGPT and Gemini. Okay, even if I show up on Gemini, what guarantees me that I'm going to have a conversion? What
Yeah.
guarantees that they're going to sign up? Especially according to Search Engine Land and all these SEO established website, what they said that when you show up in AI search, first of all, is the percentage very low, and secondly, majority don't even click on it. Why? Because they found the answer. If they found the answer, why would they click on the site?
They're not going to.
Exactly. Now, at the same time, am I discouraging you not to shop in AI? No, I'm not discouraging. Of course, you have to be, eventually you have to be in AI search because when the consumer's behavior changes, this is how you're going to have the positive effect. Right now, most businesses like us, when we hire somebody, we still look for what? A Google business page. Why? Because there's the review. We love to look at the review, just like in Amazon, you look at the reviews first, right? If you look for
It's true.
chiropractor near me, a dentist, a personal injury lawyer, even a photographer, they look at the Google business page, and that's free. That's what comes out first. Then the question after that. Do you see what I'm saying? You can actually go to a website called answerthepublic.com. You go to answerthepublic.com and just type photography or photographer or photographer near me and see what kind of most popular questions that your target audience are asking already. Now you can click on those questions, then see what shows up in Google. Then you can take the same question now and repurpose it for your social media post. You can repurpose it for your blogging content. You can repurpose it for other content idea. And the cool thing about it, you did not assume what was the question out there. You just saw the question that people already were talking about it. Now you're going to take that question and another way to basically bring some sort of trust and visibility and traction like that. Does that make sense? But as far as what are the ways to be, I would say continue to do the basic SEO, continue to write the content that is a question based. Why? Because everything that shows up, the majority of the result that shows up in the AI search within Google, it's a question based content. So based on that, I would for now advise you to do that.
So there's not a whole lot of change just yet as far as what we need to do.
Yes.
We still need to be strong in our branding, which not all of us are.
Yes.
We still need to be consistent, which is really a problem because you've added yourself to LinkedIn, you've added yourself to Facebook and to Instagram and to whatever places at different points in time. And the questions are slightly different, or the format is slightly different. So you've responded slightly differently for each one. So you have you might very possibly have an inconsistent brand out there.
Yeah.
Is that something that I should be paying a lot of attention to? Is it something that I should review every once in a while? What's my thought process or responsibility there?
I like that point, but I would that question about consistency, I would add something else to it. I would say, yes, consistency, but consistency with the strategy. Like if
Yeah.
you don't have a clear strategy why you're consistent, then it's same thing, shooting an arrow in the air, expecting things to happen, right? You got to be consistent with the strategy. Second thing, let's go back to quickly something more practical. Let's say you use ChatGPT, some of you use Gemini, some of you use Perplexity. You can go there and start with the title, start with the role. Let's say you are an expert or act as an expert in photography marketing strategy in San Antonio, right? Then you will explain, this is my niche, this is what I provide, this is my target audience, this is the location, I have this many channels. My purpose is I want your help to create a content for me, not for the sake of like, not for the sake of views, but for the sake of booking, for the sake of getting phone calls, getting text messages to close the deal. And I want you to help me to run it in, let's say, 30 days. It will give you all that because it acts as a marketing expert in photography. Then you will take all that. Now you have no excuse because you have the material. You just double check with the voice, with the brand, with the message, if it resonates. And now you can spend one weekend just schedule all of them, even write the content to the website, because this way you're not totally confused. This is one of the benefits of AI, that it takes your disorganized confusion thought and will make it organized for you. And when you ask it to respond back to you, okay, you got everything for me. And before you hit enter, you tell AI, do you have any question for me? If it doesn't, you're good. If it does, that's awesome. That means it needs more information from you. Once you feed it more information, then before you hit the enter again, tell it, when you respond back to me, talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old kid or whatever level of comprehension that you want. If you want like a sixth grader or 10th grader, a step-by-step guide, respond to me in a short maybe answer with no emojis and no AI slap, and it will do that for you. So now you're not confused. You have the solution in front of you. You just have to double check with your message and the information how correct or incorrect it is, and just go from there. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. So, what, as far as efficiency, delegating, what tasks should photographers, small business owners, consider delegating to AI? Uh, and maybe what should we not consider
Yeah.
delegating to AI? And how do we make sure we don't lose the personal connection that clients value? I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that we as photographers care about, but I can't imagine that's something that other industries don't care about also. So I would think that's universal, but we feel it
Yeah.
because we're creating something that is emotional, that
Yeah.
does connect directly with that client. So there are things that I want to automate, take off my plate. But there's other things I don't want to. What are your thoughts here, and how do I make those happen?
I love that question. You know, human connection, that relationship, AI can never replace. AI can never have intuition. It can never have emotional intelligence. It cannot be creative. It cannot be generating ideas. It's a software. It's just a software. But in your situation, you as a photographer, you know your business more than me. So I'm going to ask you, Mrs. or Mr. Photographer, what are the tasks, the mundane tasks that takes too much time that is not supposed to? So you can focus on the important part, like the editing or the final output and whatnot, right? So if there's a task that takes too much time, you delegate that to the AI. For example, responding to email, you can connect the Gemini to your Gmail account, and automatically will respond with the sample. You just click adjust or send, for example, right? If you use Make, if you use Zapier or any other third-party tool to basically process where the lead comes into the website, then the AI will basically verify if it's a quality lead or not. If it's a quality lead, it will respond to them with a nice email and it will let you know so you can follow up. Stuff like that, right? But I would say the stuff that takes most of our time, a lot of the time is not like kind of worth it, in a sense that why would I spend 3 hours in writing an email, for example, right? So if it comes to like blog outline or even captioning some of the videos, client prep guide, for example, right? Or content repurposing, if I want to do some research, brainstorm, follow up template, right? These are all you can give it to the AI, because you don't want to spend 2 3 hours on something very simple, right? Because you as a photographer, you're focusing more on what? Creative ideas, right? How can I strengthen my relationship with the client, right? Maybe the final edit is I'm going to decide how the final edit going to look like. At the end of everything, I'm going to have to make a decision to make some adjustment, let's say, to the content, right? I have to make a decision what's the best outcome for the customer. You see, that human side of it, you can never replace that with AI. But anything that takes too much time is like a repetitive task, like a mundane task. Yeah, use the AI for it. Like for example, imagine when this thing wasn't here, like when the ChatGPT, all this stuff wasn't here. You know how it wasn't difficult, but it was even when Canva came in the scene, it was just time consuming to go to Canva, spend like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, find some graphic, make some change for something that you need to post for 7 days on Facebook. It probably took you like 2 hours or hour and a half,
Easy,
right?
easy. Yeah,
But
for
now with the
sure.
AI, it can be done in 10 minutes. It can be done in 10 minutes. You can ask, give me, for example, 7 days content post for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. It will give it to you. You read it. Oh, it's good. Great. Now make an image, make a visual image of this post. You can also upload some of the picture so you can attach it to this. So now I reduce my time. Instead of spending 3 hours on something really I shouldn't, now the AI will help me to minimize that time so I can focus on following up with the prospect and checking with the quality of the work and that kind of stuff. That's what I would do.
Nice. All right. So, how about you mentioned marketing?
Mhm.
What are photographers spending time on today that just isn't really producing meaningful results, and they really should be they really should be allowing AI to do it,
Yeah.
but not just what is it that should be done. How do they even get to the point where that is an option for them?
Yeah. The thing is, I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the photographers, they think like a freelancers.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean by that?
independent.
Yes, they think like a freelancers, right? You have to think a little bit like a CEO. If you're a CEO, how would you manage a company? Right? How would you look at it from that perspective? But if you're the person who does everything, I mean, sometimes I do everything myself, right? But I need to take that break, right? My expertise in the photography, in understanding and visual, all this stuff, right? My expertise shouldn't be in learning all the marketing tools. Even they might be beneficial, but that's not the point. Because what I see what most photographers do, really, the most common thing, they post a lot of amazing pictures, right? It's not bad. They post constant amazing picture on the social channels. But I'm like, okay, what is the call to action? Well, why are you showing this? Right? You don't want to just keep posting beautiful images, without a purpose behind it. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, like put some sort of call to action, right? But what do you want to achieve? Because a like and a view doesn't mean money. And this is the frustration that I get when I see a lot of folks says, "Oh, I get this many million views, I got this many likes." Okay, how many sell did you get? How many booking did you get? Do you see what I'm saying? So trying to find out ways where it eats up your time, like it kind of wastes your time for something that you really shouldn't spend too much time on it, and let the AI help you with that. Does that make sense?
It does.
But
Yeah.
don't be just posting. It's beautiful, but why are you posting? Well, okay, I saw your picture, amazing. You are like, let's say, what if oh, amazing. I see it constantly. Okay, eventually I'm gonna get tired. It's like drinking the same chai, you know what I mean, with the same cookie, right? I mean, I have to try something a little bit different,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
if you can come with a strategy, like, okay, if you share something, you put a story behind it, put a call to action, put some captioning, and if it doesn't work, look at the analytics. Go back. What days did I get the most, activity in terms of liking or sharing or commenting? What else I can do to have the viewers convert? You know what I mean?
Um, are are they? Do you recommend specific software, or just like one of the AI models to do that for them, to help them with that? Because there's things out there, are tools that are very specific to helping you with marketing, helping you with emails, helping you with different things. Do you recommend those, or just doing it themselves in AI using Zapier or whatever other tools that they can connect their
Yeah.
database, their website, the different variables that they have, different lead sources to bring in leads to be able to convert.
I would say again, my answer going to be really it's first of all find out what do you want to use if it's an AI tool, what kind of AI tool you want to use and what for, like what for what purposes. Is it for social media content, social media posts? Is it for email? Write down exactly what does your business need first. Just you have to know what are you using it for. Don't worry about the tool. Just find out, I need, let's say, email response. I need social media content I need the blog. I need to optimize the website. Write those things down first. Okay. Then try to, let's say everyone right now use let's say ChatGPT, right? Go to ChatGPT and test it and see if it does what you want it based on you. If ChatGPT does everything, you stick to it. But if there's certain thing it doesn't do, then you can try other tools out there. And it's crazy right now because if you go to, there's an AI for that, I think .tech, there's an AI for that. Let me check. There's an AI for that .com actually. There's an AI for that. You'll find 40,000 AI tools out there. You just type what kind of tool you want and it will show up to you, right? But at the same time, you don't want to end up being an AI product junkie. You don't want to just utilizing so many. Recently, I saw an AI tool called Native. For example, it's called Native AI, I believe. But am I recommending it? I haven't tested it yet. But the interesting thing about it, if you enter your website, it will basically make all the visual, like your LinkedIn and Facebook and all kinds of posts based on your business. You can look at it, you can approve it, then it will schedule for 90 days. Okay, as a content. But again, you as a business, will that content bring me a customer? Will that content going to convert? Should I invest in advertising like Facebook ad to get customers, or should I just focus on organic content? Because organic content, even though it takes longer, not too many visibility, which area should I focus on? Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're focusing on you want more phone calls or quick phone call, then you have to learn or even ask the AI how to help you set up an ad specifically for photographers. And it will walk you through. It will give you all this stuff. In fact, honestly, you don't even need me. You can just tell the ChatGPT or Gemini, you're a photography market expert in Facebook advertising. I need your help to, give me the headline and walk me through how to set it up. Make sense? But initially, find out exactly where do you want to kind of delegate some of the mundane tasks. Write it down first, then use the AI to give you those answers, or test it yourself. If like be honest, right now I can go to the ChatGPT's image actually got improved much better than the Nano Banana from Gemini. I could tell ChatGPT, here's the content, rewrite it, we'll make the Facebook post, I will upload a couple of images, and it will make the post for me in less than 2-3 minutes. Right? When it's done, then I can, basically schedule it to Buffer app or any other social media scheduling tool if that's what I'm going to do. When it comes to the content, you can do the same thing. You can either have ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini to write the content for you, and you can make the adjustment, or you write that draft of the content and post it on the generative AI and have it readjusted for you. Okay, but first figure out what do you want to use certain tasks for. Then from there, go and pick the AI that can help you. You don't have to have 20, 30, 40 AI tools. That's my job. Okay, I test a lot of these to make sure what works for different clients, because otherwise you're going to end up just testing and not getting things done, right? So that's going to be the first task.
Are you seeing in working with different companies, photographers we kind of feel like we're different than everyone else, and in some ways, of course, we are. One is a lot of companies are problem solvers and solution providers. We're really not that. We're not solving people's problems. We're doing something a little bit different than that, but there's similarities. Do you see certain business models becoming more resilient with AI and all the different tools that we have available?
Well, explain to me a little bit. What do you mean by that?
So some business models are going to need adjustment. Others are going to need overhaul.
Yeah.
And others don't really need much change at all.
Yeah.
There are businesses that will continue the way they've always done business, and AI will have very little effect on them.
Mm.
There's others that, for a photographer, we can not do it. It's possible, but we have to have some other marketing source, and there are other ways to do marketing, so that's an option. But in general, what do you feel? What business model do you feel is going to be most resilient in going into the future?
I honestly don't have an answer. I don't know, to be honest, which because if you look at the situation right now with the so-called people, losing their jobs and whatnot, most of them are
Right.
tech companies like Facebook and Apple and Amazon. These are big corporations. When did you see last time a good, let's say, a plumbing company here in town or an AC company in town did that to their
No,
staff?
no,
We
not
didn't.
gonna happen.
And these big companies, the one that are actually firing left and right, not because of AI. That's actually a misconcept. A lot of it had to do with the during the COVID overhiring, right? And recently, I don't know if you saw a show, but I don't know if you know Jimmy Dore is a comedian. Here in his show, he actually got a copy of an audio. Somehow, the audio leaked of Mark Zuckerberg, right? Talking about how he has this AI agent software that actually look at the smart engineers and how they operate, so he can learn their skills because the AI is not that good. He will learn from the actual engineers. Why? Eventually, yeah, they might get fired, right? Because he's trying to, make the AI perfect, for example. But as far as small businesses, I mean, I don't see it yet. When was the last time you went to the restaurant and you saw AI there? When was the last time you hired a roofer? You saw an AI there, or even an attorney. Maybe the attorney. The only thing they changed some of them. They might start using the voice AI, like when you call, so they can qualify you. Then they will send you to the proper department. That proper department is still a human being, not a AI.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I personally, I'm not like too into the AI is going to take everybody's job. At the same time, I'm not like nobody's going to take our job. I'm in the middle, right? I'm in the middle. Things can happen, yes, with technology, and who controls it can really happen, right? But my advice to the photographers: human emotion. When any human being gets panic, gets scared, how do you think they're going to react? Naturally, not rational, right? Not strategic, because we're in a panic mode, and the fear make us like you can't think straight. I'm going to say, calm down, relax. What you have to do right now, understand some of the basic local things. Like if I'm a local photographer, I need to make sure my Google business page is properly set up, get a lot of testimonies, make sure my website right now it is built or adjusted based on conversion. So what would I do? You can go to ChatGPT and tell it, hey, you are a CRO, which stands for conversion rate optimization. You are a CRO expert. Okay, run a CRO audit to my homepage. You put the link, you put the screenshot of the whole homepage, and it will break it down for you. Like, okay, why do you need to change this call to action, or why do you need to change this headline, right? And make those changes, right? Then when it comes to traffic, the challenge with SEO and the organic social media content, that the result is not that fast. That means it can take several months to get something. Why? Because social media itself, in general, when you post something, less than 1% going to see it. What does that mean? That means, you know what? I gotta take a calculated risk and maybe invest in Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, or Google advertising. Even though the behavior on both channels is different. People that go to Google, their intention is to look for you. But people that on Facebook, their intention is not look for you, but the fact that they probably clicked in the past or click on somebody else's photography or wedding photography or whatnot, right? Based on your activity, Facebook tries to show that post to that individual, and they might take an action. Make sense? Then, on the
Mhm.
other hand, try to sell yourself. Not, I'm a photographer. Like, you have to change the language a little bit. Like if you work with, let's say, you take picture of wedding, for example, you can say something like, I help families create artwork that becomes part of their home. If you take a school picture, you can say, I help schools make picture. I'm sorry, I help school make picture day easier for parents and staff. See, it's a different language, even though you do the same thing. But now you're speaking from a beneficial point of view to your target audience. Does that make sense? Like I help businesses, create, let's say, consistent headshot for their team, especially the corporate. And every time they have new thing happening, they might need to call you back because they need a professional photographer to go and help them with that. Does that make sense? So be kind of specific from that perspective.
Nice. Um, what do you feel photographers could spend more time learning? So, what would you, if you were talking to just one photographer,
Yeah.
and you were going to suggest them, some education source or something to spend more time with or look into, what would you encourage photographers to begin learning now?
I would say there's a lot. So let's see. Something a photographer, what can they learn first, right? I want them to understand the basic of, if you want to understand marketing, right? Think of these few questions first. Just think about these questions. Like, is it clear in what I'm doing? Like in my type of photography, is it clear in what I do? Okay. Is it clear for me who I'm serving? Who's my target audience? Is it clear why someone should actually pick me, for example? Is there a proof? What kind of proof I can show, right? Is there a simple step for them to take? If I think from that perspective, then that means, okay, that means now I have to understand the marketing process, how usually consumer behave. When they look, they do search. When they search, they go to Google. When they go to Google, there's an ad and there's an organic. Organic will take forever. It's going to take some time. So I got to make a decision. Is an ad? Let me learn the basic of ad, right? Let me also learn the basic of how to utilize these, let's say, ChatGPT or even Claude. How can I use the AI tool to help me understand the marketing for, let's say, photographer? Tell me understand how can I get conversion. Tell me understand how can I, build certain marketing asset through the AI tool itself. Because remember, AI is an assistant. It's assisting me in making my learning process a little bit quicker. Because before I used to go to Google, write the keyword, find an article, read like 5, 7, 10 articles to figure out and write the notes. And that can take you like 4 or 5 hours just to get one idea out of that keyword. But now utilize the generative AI like ChatGPT or Claude or even Gemini to your advantage, because the answer is quicker that you can get it. But you also have to ask it, when it makes any claim, tell it what's the source for this claim, what is the citation, share the link, share me the resource so I can make sure that whatever you're saying is correct. Okay. So
That's
I
a
would
good
take the
point.
advantage of the AI, but at the same time, I gotta ask all this question myself first. If I can get the clear answer for those, then I'm gonna focus on how to bring those answers by learning the marketing through the AI tool.
Nice. There's so many variables, so many things to consider.
Yes.
Um, uh, if well, one last question: if a photographer takes just one thing away from this conversation and applies it now, today, tomorrow, what would you want that to be?
Well, first they have to download the checklist that we made it for them, okay? Because that has everything that will guide them. Secondly, I will really go back and do a reverse engineer to your website, reverse engineer to all the social channels. Where is the missing point? What is not making sense? What is not the consistency? Where can I start to fix certain things? Where can I, close the loopholes? So start with what you have right now. Basically, go back, then forward. That's what I would do. And that checklist that we have actually can help you. If you're still confused, you don't know where to start. That checklist, the checklist that Jim and myself created for you, you can go through it. This this is a customized checklist. That means it's meant for photographers in San Antonio, Texas. Start from there.
Nice. So you guys see that QR code.
Yes.
Again, if it's not working for you, if you can't use it for whatever reason, just send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, jim@portraitprofits.com. Uh, for those who are watching right now, if they would like to learn more about your work or connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Just connect with me on Facebook. Okay. Shoot me a message that you were in the show, and connect with me there. And happy to help.
Nice. Thank you, Yusuf, for
You want?
joining us today, helping us to better understand what's, you know, it could be the one of the most significant shifts that photographers have ever had an opportunity to participate in. So I appreciate your time, your perspective, your willingness to help us photographers think more strategically about our businesses. You're awesome. You rock.
Thank you. You know what? We can do something amazing for the photography community because you're also an amazing person. We can actually have a local meeting because you do that. Like you still do the local meetup to teach, right?
Yes, sure
We
do.
can do under the gym's provision, I mean supervision, just for the photographers, open discussion meeting. And there you can put all the problems, all the issues that you're having, and we'll break it down for you. We'll give you the solution on the spot.
I like that idea. Let's work on that and let's
Yes.
put something together. And guys, in the comments, if you have an interest in that, will you tell me? Let me know. If no one shows an interest at all, well, I'd be surprised. But
Yeah.
if no one shows an interest, well, then we're not going to put all this effort into it. So
Take the
let
opportunity.
me know that you have it.
Yeah. Like real, not theories, all practical help on the spot. We'll analyze it
Nice.
together. We'll explain it why. We'll give you the solution. You can go out and do it yourself, but we'll do it on the spot. I think it would be nice if everybody, just like having a coffee setup conversation, but
Nice.
with the result, because I'm sure you community deserve that. And you've been doing a lot of cool stuff over the years, and that's the least thing they can get. Because I know the internet, the digital marketing is like very sometimes confusing and overwhelming. And our job here is to unconfuse you. Okay.
Nice. Nice. Yusuf, we could be talking for a lot longer,
Yeah.
but we got Spurs tonight, so we need to cut this session short. Actually, this is about an hour, so actually a little over an hour. So this is pretty normal. But thanks again for being here, and let's talk again real soon.
Yes, and if we couldn't answer your question, guys, you can always shoot it to Jim or send it to my Facebook, and we'll answer your missed question if we couldn't answer right now.
Nice, nice. Thanks, Yusuf.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
What a great conversation, man. Technology's changing, search is changing, marketing is changing. But the real reason people invest into us, professional photographers, it hasn't changed. You notice several of the questions that I asked him, his responses would have been the same years ago. Some of them are different. The how, the method, the speed at which maybe you do it. Okay, maybe those things are changing, but people still want to celebrate the people they love. They want to preserve important moments and create something that matters. So the photographers who continue to succeed won't necessarily be the ones with the newest technology, although there are certain noticeable advantages, but they will be the ones who remain adaptable, continue learning, and make thoughtful decisions about how they operate their business in a way that leads them to the life that they want. I call it an ideal life. The future belongs to photographers who understand that change creates opportunity for those willing to adjust their approach, but only if it helps you reach your destination. It's got to make sense. It's got to follow the path that causes you to get to where you're going. And so if you don't yet know where it is that you're going, you haven't defined your destination, your goals, the ideal life you'd like to build, that's the place where you need to start. It'd be like getting out on a road. You just got a new car and you're like, any road is good. But if you define where you're going, then the right road becomes obvious. I want you on the right road. You want you on the right road. One more time, I'll put that QR code up. And again, if you can't use it for whatever reason, send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com. You can also enter in hashtag handout into the into the chat or into the comment section. #handout. All right. I'm going to take that off the screen. As you know, you get the Portrait Profit Show every single Monday. So I want to share with you what's coming up. So in one, that's interesting. Huh. I have no idea why it switched cameras. I have 3 cameras, and that's one that I never use. I don't even know how it got there. There's not a link to it. Live shows. There you go. So in 1 week from today, we're going to be doing, and I'll put this up on the screen. 1 week from today, that's June 15th, we're going to be doing custom photography, and it's putting up a different image. That's the one, and it's supposed to do it like that. Huh, fun. All right. So when a potential client asks for a custom photography project, not something that you do all the time, something a little bit different, but it's something fun, something that you want to do. The real question is just, it's not just what should I charge? Before you name a price, you need to define the need. You need to structure the offer, separate your time from the usage, guide the conversation with confidence. And if you ever felt unsure about how to price a photography opportunity, you need to put this on your calendar. Pricing is something we photographers have some difficulty with. This is a specific type of pricing. This isn't how to price your 8x10s. This isn't how to price your regular sessions or your mini sessions. This is how to price a single type of session that really doesn't follow what you always do. So a custom photography project. How do I price that? How do I move forward with it? How do I write a response to someone who has asked in a way that makes them want to work with me? 1 week from today, the custom photography project. And then 1 week after that, this is always moving, never arriving. You're constantly learning, trying new ideas, putting in lots of effort. Yet somehow you still feel like you're not arriving anywhere meaningful. And you're probably right. We'll explore why reactive vision keeps us from moving but not arriving, why intentional vision helps us move in the direction that's right for us, and how to know whether your efforts are leading you towards the life and business that you want. That is June 22nd at noon. Always moving, never arriving. And to round out this month, this one is important. I'm bringing it from the standpoint of a story that I experienced, and that's why the title is called Terminal Clarity. Portrait photographers think about cameras, lighting, editing, pricing, marketing, communication. They know how to create a portrait. They think they understand what it is they're creating. And based on what they know so far, they do understand what it is they're creating. But then a single conversation strips away the fog that they never knew existed and reveals what portrait photography has always been about. Terminal Clarity. Put it on your calendar for June 29th at noon. Now, as you know, these are every single Monday, but you're busy. You've got a million things going on in your life. You're going to forget stuff like this, but it's not to your advantage to forget. Put it on your calendar. Put some reminders up. Make sure that you're available at noon on Mondays for every single Monday, except for the exception of the second Monday of each month when we move it to 6:30 in the evening. Add these free lessons to your calendar now before you forget. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Portrait Profit Show. Once again, I want to thank Yusuf Chowdhury for joining us and sharing his insights about AI, marketing, search, business model adaptation. He shared a lot. If today's episode gave you something to think about, I want to encourage you to take a close look at your own business and ask yourself this question. Am I preparing my business for where the market is going? Or am I relying on how things have always been? As always, remember that success begins by defining what you want. And when you define what you want, you give yourself the potential to get it. For Landers Photography School, and I'll put that on screen. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, I'm Jim Landers, and I'm bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing the show. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.